Welcome back to WaterparkRanger's Let's Play Kingdom Hearts. In the last episode, we defeated Ansem's first form, and now we're on to the next part of the battle, as it is far from over. However, we're going to take a little brief interlude, really, to fight, of all people, Darkside. I don't know why they decided it would be a good plan to bring him back. I guess as long as they decided to bring back so many other things from other worlds, they figured they'd bring back Darkside, who I guess was kind of supposed to be Sora's Heartless. I mean, he comes out of your shadow. But it's kind of difficult to keep track of all that, because over the series there's been Shadow Sora, Anti-Sora, all kinds of ridiculous things. Even in this game alone, there was Sora turning into a Shadow at Hollow Bastion. Yeah, it's just all difficult to keep track of. But as you can see, he's just goddamn pathetic. Like, all of his moves hardly do anything anymore. He has 3 HP bars, but that means nothing, because we're just so powerful now. And every boss that we're fighting now has around 5 anyway. And a ton more defense to boot. He just can't do anything to you, so it just seems absolutely pointless to bring him back. But, oh well, I mean, I didn't make the game, so I guess I can't vouch for all their choices. Either way, useless little interlude here before you continue your fight with Ansem. It's a lot like the first phase. No, I should say it's similar to the first phase, only Donald and Goofy aren't there to help you. Ansem does have a new moveset this time, despite looking exactly the same. For starters, he's got a double laser thing that you want to roll out of the way of whenever you see it. Don't try and block it. His other thing that you should try and block is this, where he'll charge at you multiple times. You can either try and roll out of the way, which is difficult, or you can block it, which I failed at doing. If you block it, that gives you an opening to hit him. He's harder to hit this time around. Yeah, although I don't think he has quite as much life. I don't know, I didn't keep track of as much life as he had in the first phase. There we go, we were able to block it. And we got a lot of tech points for it, too. Just as before, you want to jump and combo him, and just as before, that Heartless thing of his, that Guardian that stays close, is going to be blocking a lot of your moves, so that's quite agitating. And in case it wasn't obvious, just like so many bosses before, Ansem is really quite resistant to all magic that you can throw at him, so just save that magic up for a Cure and Arrow. Arrow's great for a little bit of extra defense, especially if, like me, you've forsaken the shield. An Arrow is a good spell to have. In addition to Ragnarok, fantastic move. I mentioned that you can use it during the first phase, I believe. However, it also comes in quite a lot of handy here for breaking through that little shield of his, that laser grid, especially when you're under influence by the Guardian. Yeah, once again, once you hear him saying insolent, and then come Guardian, you want to roll out of the way of that. Not like me. I'm kind of an idiot, so I get hit by that like pretty much every time he uses it. It's difficult to tell when he's going to pull it out, because all of his moves, like, you can understand how to react to them. It's either block it if it's the charge, roll out of the way if it's the lasers, or just get far away if it's the Guardian that gets in your controls. Anyway, this is his final attack. He'll start using it after you've damaged him quite a bit. It's a lot like Cerberus's lasers that come out from under the ground, but they have a wider explosion radius, even if there aren't as many of them, or if they come out as frequently. It's just different. I don't know whether to say it's weaker or stronger than Cerberus's, but it's different. And at the end, as you saw, wow, I was doing a great job of dodging that. Of course. Of course, as soon as I mention it is when he gets hit. But regardless, anyway, yeah, you just want to watch out for that new move of his. I think we're pretty much finished with him now if we can get in another good combo. Especially with Ragnarok, which is just extremely useful. Oh yeah, another upside of Ragnarok is that since you have to select it from the bottom command, he won't be able to hit you with freeze if you're using it, so just keep that in mind. Oh, in addition, at the end he sends out 4 lasers from sides, kind of at angles, so if you're standing back when he uses it, you're going to have a better chance of dodging it at the end. That's basically how that works. And just like that, that takes care of that phase of Ansem. And there's going to be a pretty long cutscene at this point, so rather than speaking during it, I said I'd let you just watch them uninterrupted, so have at it. Enjoy the show.
What?
Behold the endless abyss. Within it lies the heart of all worlds. Kingdom Hearts. Look as hard as you are able. You'll not find even the smallest glimmer of light. From those dark depths are all hearts born. Even yours. Darkness conquers all worlds!
Giving up already? Come on, Sora. I thought you were stronger than that.
Now here's where things get complicated. Seriously complicated. This is, I guess, the real final boss, the World of Chaos. It's got a complex design, so you're going to be tackling it in a ton of stages, starting with Ansem attached to this group of tentacles here. Anyway, he does quite a lot of damage with that halberd of his, and it's near unavoidable, so have yourself under the protection from Arrow nearly at all times when you're in close combat with him. Also, keep in mind that basically he's going to be sending a ton of lasers at you while you're flying around. For the record, the way the flying works here is kind of like Neverland, how you're always going to have those flying controls on for basically the whole time. And those lasers are going to be coming at you fairly constantly, so avoiding them all entirely is pretty much out of the picture. You just have to fly in wide circles, and they're usually going to miss you if you do that. So fly in wide circles and wait for them to kind of taper off, and once you see the lasers kind of coming to a close, that's your chance to go in and hit Ansem. Make sure you're under the protection of Arrow while you're up to Ansem, because like I said, it's not very realistic that you're going to be able to dodge all those lasers, as well as a halberd. Like, just avoiding damage during this fight would drag it out far too long. And, as usual, magic does nothing, so just to him, so use it all on yourself. He doesn't seem to have too much in the way of defense, even if he has a lot of, HP. Oh yeah, and he also summons occasionally some small Heartless. They appeared a little earlier. They're really quite weak. There's nothing too special to note about them. They're called Bit Snipers. Oh yeah, one of them just passed over our heads. They just charge you with that little spike on their head, and they hardly do any damage. They're very negligible. But if for some reason you can't immediately heal, and you don't have elixirs or mega elixirs, they are a good source of HP, so you can destroy them for that. That being said, if you charge into this fight without any elixirs or mega elixirs, you're making a huge mistake. I think if you lose at any point during the World of Chaos phase of the boss, you'll be returned to right here when you're fighting him. And the World of Chaos takes a long time to defeat. We're going to have to probably stretch this out into the next episode to finish him off. But regardless, that takes care of the very beginning of him. And it opens up the next thing you're supposed to do. It's not clearly obvious what you're supposed to do. They usually cue you in a little bit before you make your next move. Either way, you can't hurt Ansem right now because he's protected by that little barrier. But in the meantime, he opens up, I think that's called a Portal of Darkness. Oh yeah, you don't even have to go into it. It shows you the first time just flying into it. The other times afterwards, you're not going to do that automatically. You're going to have to find your own way in. Anyway, once you're going there, it looks like you're inside the hull of his giant death ship. Just tons of shadows in here, nothing else. But they're cannon fodder by this point, so you can just target and slash away and they'll all die. Really, nothing to see. And a lot of experience points by this point, but I mean, not that it matters, because you're nearly at the end and that's not going to be worth anything anymore. Oh yeah, they are a little bit hard to see, but if you just lock on, you're going to be able to hit them just as easily. Keep that in mind, because you're going to have to do a few more of these rooms. It's good to understand how they work before other enemies start appearing. After you take care of them, a little core is going to appear, whack it a few times, and it will explode. And I'm guessing that is just damaging some part of the battleship from the inside. We're going to have to set a few more of those off before this fight's over. In addition, we're going to have to clash with Ansem in his halberd form one more time, and that's going to be harder than it was before. Or at least the stakes are going to be a lot higher. Either way, remember what I told you about the lasers. It's the most important things to understand. To fly in wide circles, not just back and forth, but up and down. Like at an angle, that's the best way to avoid them. As long as you stay moving, you're not going to get shot down. At this point, those little tubers are going to come up and start shooting a lot more different kinds of lasers that seem to home in on you a lot more. They're quite agitating. In addition, the giant Heartless in the background, who's part of the World of Chaos, seems to have some kind of wind attack that blows you back occasionally, as well as shooting one of those giant sniper lasers from before after you've been knocked back by the gale. So there's a lot of things to keep track of. But the bottom line is you need to destroy those tubers. See there, just then he hit us with a gale and then shot that giant purple laser at us. So take care of the central tubers, because they shoot the more dangerous lasers, and then take care of the smaller tubers on the side. And after you've wiped out all the tubers, that opens up another portal, only this time you have to fly in yourself. If it will let us. Oh, great. We got hit by the gale, and there's the purple laser. So we're just going to go into that portal of darkness. Healing up before is a good idea, and we're going to continue fighting Ansem through it next episode. See you then.